Hi guys, it's me Bryson. Welcome back to my channel. Um, it's been 4 years. 4 years. Lots of things can happen in 4 years. I look completely different than my other videos. You know, I still love makeup. I still do it on clients. I still do all that fun stuff. I just don't wear it anymore. I mean, I wear like a little concealer here and there to cover up any like dark marks or anything, but and my hair is completely changed, but there's a reason for that. Today I wanted to come on and talk about how I was diagnosed with leukemia during a pandemic. We love it so much. So I'm just gonna get right into it because you know, I feel like there's another YouTuber who I was watching. She was in the hospital and she was doing, because if I cannot remember her name at all, if I can remember her name, I'll put it like across the screen or like in the description box or whatever. But she's really awesome. But yes, I was diagnosed with AML May 23rd of 2020. So AML stands for acute myeloid leukemia. Do I know what those words, the acute and myeloid, I don't. All I know is it's a blood cancer, so it's in your blood, and it's a lot different than like breast cancer and all that fun stuff. But I mean, all cancer is, I mean, I feel like all cancer is the same. In the meaning of it sucks. And you go through a lot. Anybody who's gone through chemotherapy knows that it's no joke. Yeah, I just wanted to share my story of how I found out and where I'm at now and what's going on. Because I just feel like, why not, you know? So let's get into it. But 2020 started out very normal. You know, I was gaining more clients, everything was going wonderful. January went by great, February went by great, and March comes. And March is when all hell broke loose in America. We were supposed to originally be gone for a week, but as you may know, salons and stuff were closed for a lot longer. So, January, February, March, we leave, and we don't know anything about it. April, still haven't heard anything about when salons are opening. May, my birthday is May the 11th. I had a normal birthday. Everything was great. I was a little depressed because I couldn't leave the house. But my friends, Sarah and Jordan, came to see me, and that really meant a lot to me. And they've also been very supportive through this. And they brought me gifts, and Sarah brought me this big bottle of, I don't even know, I'm not a big drinker. It was like some, like, it's called getting iced. I don't know. It was huge, okay? But it was really good, but besides the point. Everything was great. So 1 week, 2 weeks goes by, and I come home from swimming at my dad's, and I have a temperature of 100, I think it was 101, and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm thinking I have the C word, you know? And but I just like, my body, I knew something was wrong. And I just started busting out crying. And I'm crying to my grandmother. And I'm like, I feel like something is wrong. Like something is wrong with me. So I got a little bit better. I got nauseous. I took nausea medication. And I just became really hysterical. And like, I just couldn't stop crying. And then my mom came in, and she always calms me down. So, of course, my mom calmed me down. And it was just, I just knew something was wrong. So, then a week, or no, it was like a couple days passed by, and I get out of breath going to the bathroom. And my bathroom is literally 5 steps away from my room. Like literally out of breath, like cannot breathe for anything. Like I cannot breathe at all. I'm gonna hold my squishmallow while we talk. This is Olivia, by the way. But anyways, I just felt awful. I felt crazy. And then we went to go eat Mexican one day. It was me, my mom, and my grandmother. And I was just walking in the in the restaurant, and just over, you know, heated over everything. Like I had all the symptoms of the C word, and I just refused to say anything about that, because it couldn't have done that, because my temperature had gone away. And mind you, it's like, and this was whenever the C word was very new, so I mean we had no clue. So then I had every symptom, and then as soon as we got home, my mom checked me. She is a respiratory therapist, so she has like these little gadgets and stuff. So she checked my pulse ox and my heart rate, and my pulse ox I was satting at 80. And for anyone wondering, you want to be breathing at 100%, like 98, 99, like 100%, not 80. That's awful. It feels awful, and I don't want anyone else to go through that. It's really awful. So my mom was scared, because you know she was working with these patients, and she thought she brought it home to me, but you know, she does everything she's supposed to. You know, she takes off her clothes, she bathes, I wash her clothes separately from others. Like, she's done all the proper protocol, and we clean. So it's like really what's going on. So I go to this one hospital, which was not a great experience. It was the emergency room it was closer to my house, not my mom's hospital. But then I was there for 2 hours. They did not treat me. They were awful. Absolutely awful. I could not breathe. I asked for oxygen multiple times. And I was charged $150 for me to just sit there for 2 hours, and I couldn't breathe. And I kept on telling them that I couldn't breathe. So we love hospitals, but my favorite hospital, of course, is my mom's hospital. So my mom, she's texting me, and she's all worked up, and she's telling me, get your papers and leave. So, and then she tells me to go to her hospital, and this is like the time where like there were no visitors allowed, so I was all by myself. I mean, she drove me there. She didn't drive me there. She followed me there just to make sure that I made it there okay, because like I can't breathe normally. But I get there, I'm like panting, like just trying to figure out what's wrong with me. So I'm in my blood pressure is like 100, no, it's like it's really high. It's like 190 over like it was awful. It was super duper high. And it's because usually whenever your blood pressure is high, usually it means you're in pain. Well, it can mean you're in pain. So I went in there, they checked everything. They checked my vital signs, they checked my, like where I was statting, then they took me back. It took a couple hours. They tested me for all kinds. They tested me for the C word 4 times. And it all came back negative all the time. So they immediately went to my blood. And my white blood cell count was up, which means that I was fighting something. And the other man comes in there, and basically after all this time he comes in there and he says, look, you have cancer. And I was all alone. I didn't know how I was going to tell my mother because my family means everything to me. And I was mainly concerned about them, like how they were going to take this, because immediately whenever you hear cancer, you hear a death sentence. And it's not a death sentence. It's really not. Some cases are worse than others, but it's not a death sentence, and you can get through anything that you put your mind to. But I was doing it for me. I got through it, still going through it for my family. And they did the right thing because they gave me like a calming medications before they told me anything. Like they knew what they were doing. And I greatly appreciate that because I was very calm. And I remember texting my best friends and I'm like, it's fucking cancer. Like my life was immediately turned upside down. Immediately turned upside down. My mom couldn't be with me. None of my family could be with me. It was insane. But, I mean, you just have to push on through. I mean, like, what else can you do? And plus, I was calm for the medication, so I was feeling it. But it was absolutely insane. And then he basically said, you're going to be in here for a while. And he was right. I was actually in there May 23rd, 2020 to June 26th, 27th, 2020. And that's whenever they literally wipe everything clean and they have to put in new and healthy stuff. And now my mom works there, so she came to see me every time that she came to work. I was pretty bad off the first weeks. Like I was really bad. I couldn't shower by myself. I was on oxygen. I couldn't even get up and walk. Like it was crazy. Chemo hurt my throat. I like every time I swallowed, it just hurt awful. It was not a very pleasant experience at all. But all my nurses were fantastic. Everybody that took care of me was absolutely amazing, and they made it 100%, 100 times better than I thought it could possibly be. After I get out, I have a couple weeks, to myself, and I build back up my strength a little bit. But that's whenever things turn absolutely the other direction, because every time I had to have 4 cycles of chemo. In total. And some people may say, that's not that many, but babe, my chemo was completely different than anybody else's chemo, really, who doesn't have leukemia, I believe. Yeah, it's not like I'm there for like a couple hours. No ma'am. I'm there for a week. I don't have to do that anymore, thank God, but I had to do that 4 times. 4 times. It was atrocious. So, each time it just knocked me down and knocked me right back down. The 3rd time was a lot better. because she reduced my doctor. My doctor's amazing. Shout out to Dr. Sullivan. Love you, girl. You're the best. But she reduced my strength of my chemo, and it made things a lot better. And I actually didn't have to be put back in the hospital after the third round. Well, the first and second were trash. The second one was the scariest one of my whole entire life. I thought I was on the edge there, babe, but I wasn't. Honey, she's here. She's here. Third one obviously wasn't that bad, like I said, but the fourth one, that was when things were like I was ready to get out and hurry up and be done with it. I had a special plan for the fourth one because I had to go to the this specialist an hour away from where I'm from, and it was to determine if I needed a bone marrow transplant, which would totally wipe me completely clean, but there are lots of risks involved, high risks that could potentially lead to bad things. And thank God I didn't end up needing one. He thought that all my tests came back negative, except for this one little thing, and it showed that I had like a little bit of something. We just don't know what it is. But we're not gonna risk anything. So that's why I had to go back in for my fourth one. And then they added something onto my fourth one. It was a drug called Mylatard. And in combination with my already chemo, which my chemo that I'm used to getting is cytarabine, which is one of the strongest chemos you could possibly have. Don't like her. She can go suck it, because that chemo was not fun at all. But in conjoint with the Mylatard, it completely just wiped everything out again, and I was right back down to one. And I'm not going to go into counts right now because that's a whole other story, but just know that it wiped things that needed to be up way, way, way down. If anybody wants to hear about your counts and how that works, or what my knowledge is about it, comment down below if you want to know. I know a little bit, but my fourth round was just back in December of 2020. And I didn't know if I was going to go home for Christmas, but my doctor made it happen. Okay, shout out to Dr. Hutchinson and shout out to Dr. Sullivan. So, after that, I finally made through it. I had to get new blood transfusions and platelet transfusions, because things were a little bit low. That has to do with counts. I won't get into it. If you want to know more about it, like I said, comment down below. But after that, I'm finally feeling normal. I'm finally feeling like myself. Yes, I get tired still. Yes, my body gets stiff and sore. And yes, my hair fell out. It's finally grown back in. And it's curly. It's curly, which it was actually bone straight. If you look at my other videos, you'll notice that it was completely bone straight. So I say the only thing that chemo gave me was great skin and good hair, because it got rid of my acne completely. But I'm feeling more like myself, which really means a lot, because I haven't felt like myself in a very long time, because every time I was starting to feel like myself, I'd be knocked right back down with my chemo. And it just absolutely sucked. But you have to do what you have to do. I'm not the type of person to give up. That's not what I do. So, my next treatment plan is just pills. Just to keep up with myself and make sure that whatever that little thing that we don't know what it is, it could be dead cells, it could be still a little bit left in there. But it doesn't show up on my blood tests. It doesn't show up on any tests besides like very, 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 very sensitive tests. Like they didn't have these tests 5 years ago. Like 5 years ago, I would have already been in remission. But now they have these tests that can find anything, which is amazing for cancer patients. It can really help save someone's life. Because they've come a long way. My next regimen is going to be pills. These pills, called Onureg, I believe is the name. And it'll probably be in combination with Mylatard. So I do that every 14 days, and then I stop 14 days. And then I do it again another 14 days, and then I'm off another 14 days. I should be able to function great on these. My counts will go down maybe a little bit, but not anything crazy like actual chemo would. These are considered a type of chemo, but they're basically like they're just like targeted drugs to target anything that like bad that the medicine doesn't like inside my body. But I'm excited. I go back to work February 1st. Excuse me. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna vlog some as like how it's for me going back to work. As I was out, I was making wigs and like coloring wigs and stuff. So I'll leave like my professional hair page down in the description if you want to check any of that out. I also have the Etsy store where I sell them in that Instagram bio. But I'm just really excited for the future and see where it holds. And I just want anyone to know that cancer is not a death sentence. It is not anything that you need to be ashamed about. You are not any less beautiful than you were before. You aren't any less attractive than you were before. Because so many people that I was talking to or chatting with, and, just chatting it up, flirting with, when they found out that I got cancer, they just went out the door. I'm talking probably like 2 or 3 stayed. Some people cannot handle it and some people will leave. But that's the name of the game, I guess. But this is your journey, and you're gonna take along whoever wants to come along or whoever needs to come along, including family, like really close friends. I had a very large group of people that supported me, and I got lots of cards of uplifting messages. It really affects your mental. And I'm on anxiety medication. I've never thought that I would ever be on any of that. I'm on blood pressure medication. Girl, I never needed that before. Like, it really takes a toll on you, so you really have to take care of yourself. And anybody negative, kick them to the curb. Kick them to the curb. If you're finding this, and you're being diagnosed with cancer or anything that's a big deal, that's gonna take some time to get used to, or just stuff that the normal person doesn't really have to go through, or just like anything crazy that you're not thinking that you would ever get, you can do it. I had to tell myself that all the time, because sometimes you just have to force yourself to do stuff. And you really have to you really gotta force yourself to go through chemotherapy. If you know someone who's been through it, they've been through a lot, and they deserve everything. They really do, because it's not fun. I go back to work soon, so I think I'm gonna record that journey. And if you want to know, like, when I decided to shave my head, because my hair did fall out and it did, grow back now, but it did fall out. I had to shave it off If you want to know that story on how that happened, leave it down below or like this video, and I just may do it anyways. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, maybe comment. Bye.